Welcome back to another quick self-help video. Today, I'm going to tell you what meditation is and how to meditate effectively. Because this topic has started to gain more attention lately in the West, it is important for you to document yourself and to get the right information about this domain. Many people like to share their thoughts about what meditation is. However, their understanding about this whole field is partial. In the first world countries such as the US, the UK, Germany, Holland, and so on, this field has started to become more popular. I personally know some people who perceive meditation just as a fancy thing to do, without knowing the true potential of this practice and how to properly do it. They've heard of this topic from their friends, who heard about this topic from their work colleagues, and so on. In this way, the information can get easily distorted. They are not interested enough to conduct their own research about this topic. Therefore, they lack understanding. Even though you watch this video, I encourage you to conduct more research about meditation, as this episode is not going to be enough for you to develop a holistic understanding. We can only scratch the surface here. Alright, so what is meditation then? Meditation is a practice which requires one to use a certain technique. Meditation has been used for centuries all over the planet, in different religions and beliefs. People have been meditating for about 3,000 years. Meditation can be used to reduce stress, anxiety, overthinking, depression, pain. It slows aging, increases happiness, increases brain activity, helps one to attain enlightenment, raises one's consciousness, and much more. There are different types of practices, as well as different types of teachings. According to collinsdictionary.com, meditation is the act of thinking about something very carefully and deeply for a long time. Moreover, meditation is defined as the act of contemplation and reflection. OxfordDictionaries.com defines meditation as to focus one's mind for a period of time, in silence with the aid of chanting, for religious or spiritual purposes, or as a method of relaxation. Meditation is all about training yourself, despite what others might believe. For example, some people believe that meditation can help them change themselves. It is not about becoming a new or different person. It is about raising your awareness and getting a different perspective. Another common misconception people hold about meditation is that this practice helps them turn off their thoughts and their emotions. Although this is possible after many years of practice, it is healthier to say that at the beginning, meditation helps you observe your thoughts without judgment. By learning how to observe your thoughts, you are no longer identifying yourself with them. Practice deliberately, and you may eventually start to understand the nature of your thoughts. Meditation helps you raise your awareness, and, by raising your awareness, you are then no longer identifying yourself with your thoughts, because you can now observe them. Meditation is a skill, and like any other ability, it is something you can improve. This is why it is important to practice regularly on a day-to-day basis. I recommend you do this practice every single day for at least 20 minutes. It takes consistent practice to really get the benefits. Think of it as training your muscles. If you really want to grow and define your muscles, you need to work for that. You need to go to the gym almost every day without any excuses. Have this image in your mind as working on a muscle you've never worked on before. In this scenario, the muscle you are training is your brain. I encourage you to make a lifelong commitment when it comes to meditation. Make the commitment that you will meditate every day for the rest of your life for at least 20 minutes if you really want to rock it. Understand that it is very unlikely to experience any of the good stuff only by meditating every now and then. Work on this skill, get better at it, and I guarantee you'll start to see some results within a few months. To understand how meditation works, we need to understand how the human's mind works. According to the Buddhists, the mind is like a crazy monkey. They characterize it as always running around, always searching for something, always fantasizing, always wondering. It cannot sit still. That is the perfect metaphor of your mind. It is totally out of control. Without the ability of observing your mind, without meditation, it is hard to appreciate that your mind is what it is. You need to be able to observe your thoughts on a minute-to-minute basis to get this insight on your own. The more you meditate, the more you start to realize that this is the perfect description of your mind. Now that you have this insight, you can already start to appreciate what your life is going to look like if you develop this skill. The ultimate benefit of meditation is to get your mind under control. Moreover, as mentioned before, meditation helps you master your emotions, and this is huge. Imagine no longer being angry, anxious, depressed, jealous, frustrated, etc. Besides that, meditation can unhook you from your addictions such as TV, porn, drugs, food, etc. Because this topic has caught the attention of many people lately, more scientific studies are being conducted about this field every day, and the results are incredible. The researchers have concluded that meditation brings tremendous benefits over one's mental health. Favorable structural changes in the brain, such as increase in gray matter and a higher activity in the prefrontal cortex, were identified as being some major paybacks. Moreover, other researchers showed strong evidence for improvements in 3 areas of attention. The first area is called sustained attention, which is related to vigilance. The second area is selective attention, which is linked to orientation network. And the third area is executive control attention, which include the functions of inhibiting the conscious processing of distracting information. Furthermore, meditation enhances your ability to focus and boosts your creativity. People who meditate have shown positive changes over one's perception, relaxation response, calming effects, arousing effects, happiness, pain, and many more. Now that you know what meditation is and how it can help you, it is important to understand how you do this practice. Before we start discussing about the actual techniques, I need to mention some details first. To meditate effectively, you need to find a quiet spot, alone, without any distractions in the background. You need to sit still with your back straight. Look at this image. That is the correct position. If you experience any muscular pain or any cramps at the beginning of this process, do not worry. That is completely normal. They will eventually disappear in time. There are different meditation techniques you can use. For the purposes of this video, we are going to discuss about what I believe are the 3 most effective meditation practices. If you want to discover more ways in which you can meditate, I'm going to release a video in the future where I will reveal more practical and effective techniques. So make sure you don't miss that video by subscribing to this channel right now. My favorite meditation technique is called Do Nothing from Shinzen Young. This is the simplest technique of them all, yet a very effective one. This method requires you to sit still and to do nothing, as the name suggests. This technique is effective because when you do nothing, you let go of control. Imagine that crazy monkey totally out of control, being forced to do one thing. In your case, you force your mind to meditate. It would resist that. It would make things 10 times worse. Doing nothing means that you allow that crazy monkey to do whatever it wants. Paradoxically, when the monkey would see herself free and able to do anything, it will calm down. Do not underestimate the power of this technique. This method stands out for its simplicity. Sit still, with your eyes closed, your back straight, and do nothing for at least 20 minutes. Practice on a regular basis, and trust this process. The second technique I would like to share with you is going to be a very practical one. This technique is related to mindfulness meditation. I want to give special credit to Shinzen Young, who spent many years researching this field, putting together a very vigorous and complex mindfulness system. Some of the following ideas come directly from him. The history behind mindfulness goes back to the Buddha, and there are many ways in which mindfulness meditation is being taught. What I'm going to give you here is a very practical way of how to properly do this. Being mindful means being aware, or being conscious. Being mindful means to experience reality as it is. This is what you have to do if you decide you want to practice this technique. The way you do that is by focusing on what is happening around you. I'm not sure if you realize it or not, but the way you experience reality is through your senses. It doesn't come to you any other way. Touch, emotions, smell, sound, sight, taste, thought, all of these are the channels you get reality. Whatever is happening to you right now is what is real, and that changes every second. Because the mind fantasizes about the past and the future, you are out of touch of what is really happening in the present. Mindfulness is about getting you back in touch with what is really there. Here's how to effectively practice mindfulness. There are 3 main modes in which you experience things. For the purposes of this video, we are going to call them hearing, seeing, and feelings. What this technique requires you to do is to deliberately focus on these things. You are going to do this in cycles. One cycle lasts for about 10 seconds. Let me give you an example. You can pause this video and practice each cycle on your own after you've heard the instructions. So, assuming that you set your timer for 20 minutes, you are now beginning your cycles. For 10 seconds, you need to focus on an object around you, something you can see. It is important that you do not start to think of that object. All you have to do is to observe it. Do not judge that object, just be aware of its existence. Do not become critical about that object. It can be anything: a pen, a book, a phone, a mouse, a picture, a lamp. It is entirely up to you. However, try to find something which will stay still. I want you to look at that object and observe it without judging its color, its shape, or its design. Just look at it. Be aware of its existence. Do not use your rational mind, just observe it. While you do that, you are going to silently label it, but don't label the object by saying, "This is a pen." You are going to label it in your internal dialogue as C. Focus your awareness on that object. Become conscious of its existence for 10 seconds and move on to the next cycle. The next label you are going to use is Hear, and this time you are going to focus on a sound for 10 seconds. It could be anything: a car engine, a bird, a voice, the AC fan, anything. Do not judge that sound. Do not become critical about it. It doesn't matter if it's too loud or you can barely hear it. It doesn't matter whether you like what you hear or not. It doesn't matter where it is coming from. All that matters is that you can hear it. Shift your attention on that sound and be aware of its existence. Focus on that particular sound for 10 seconds and move to the next cycle. The silent label you are going to use this time is Feel. You must shift your attention for 10 seconds on a feeling of yours. This particular cycle is a bit tricky because there are basically two types of feelings: internal and external. The internal feelings are your emotions, and the external feelings are the things you feel through your touches. The external feelings could be something like pain, an itch, a chill, or anything like that. It doesn't matter what you choose to focus on as long as you can silent label it as feel, and you do not become judgmental about it. You can choose either an internal feeling such as anger, or you can choose an external feeling such as pain. Do not rationalize about it, just recognize it for what it is, a feeling brought to your attention. Focus on that particular feeling for 10 seconds. Become aware of its existence, and then move on to the next cycle. You can choose different objects, sounds, or feelings each time you end a cycle. It will take a while before you get used to it, but it is worth it. The most important thing about this whole process is to be persistent. The more you practice, the better you get at it. The last technique I'm going to share with you in this video requires you to sit still with your eyes closed and to observe your thoughts. Just by observing your thoughts with a lot of consciousness and awareness, you get the ability of melting away any emotions. This is a very deep topic, and I won't go into too many details here. If you practice this long enough, what you'll realize is that you don't have any control over your thoughts. They just come and go. You don't know where they are coming from, what their existence is, or how long they are going to be there for. All you know is that they exist. You must observe your thoughts without any form of judgment and without any actions taken. All you have to do is watch them come and go. Whenever you get a thought, do not identify yourself with it. Just be aware of the fact that it is just a thought, and let it go. Be conscious of the fact that you are not that thought. Let that thought go on its way. Don't go with it. Do not start to rationalize about it. Just be the observer. Do not try to control your thoughts. Do not try to eliminate them. Allow them to exist. This technique is in particular very effective because you are only being asked to observe. The more you do that, the better you become at it. After many hours spent meditating and observing your thoughts, you'll recognize them for what they are, and that will bring you major benefits. Alright, so this is how to meditate effectively. Meditation means to train your mind. Meditation helps you grow that muscle. Meditation has to be simple, and it must be practiced daily for at least 20 minutes to really get all its juicy benefits. Because your mind is totally out of control, it is very important that you work on this skill. The ultimate purpose of meditation is to get your mind under control. There are many techniques out there that you can use to meditate. However, I recommend you stick to something very simple, yet very effective. You can either choose to do nothing, to focus on your senses, or to observe your thoughts. You must try them all before you know what works best for you. Be persistent and make a lifelong commitment that you will meditate every day for the rest of your life. This is the only way that you can get the benefits meditation has to offer. I want to mention one final thing before we end this discussion. No matter what technique you decide to use, do not be too harsh on yourself. Most likely, you are going to get caught in thought stories, and that would seem like you are not meditating effectively. This is completely normal, and it is part of the meditation process. Do not become judgmental, and stick to your practice. As I mentioned before, this video is just the tip of the iceberg. If you really want to master this domain, if you really want to understand how meditation works, you must spend hours researching this field. Now that you have an overall idea about what is possible, it is your responsibility to do the work. Write your comments down below if you have any questions. I would love to hear your thoughts about this. Thank you for watching this video, and if you find value in this content, remember to like and share this video with a friend. If you want to become your greatest version, if you want to live an extraordinary life, make sure you subscribe to this channel because I can help you do that. This process usually takes time, and it is not enough to watch just one video. This is a lifelong process. Check out our Instagram page and find your daily inspiration right there. Stay well, stay focused, and happy.